Hey Joe, it's Folks here. This video is for anyone who doesn't really want to sell print-on-demand products on Etsy, maybe because they want to put themselves in a position where they can own their store. What we're talking about in this video today is building your own store and using the power of social media to make your sales. And I want to give you 3 brief data points that will help you to understand why this could be a better thing to try when it comes to starting your own print-on-demand store. This here is a study that has been done on the print-on-demand industry. You can see right here at the top that they are estimating that by the year 2030 we will see about $38 billion in revenue from print on demand. And to put that in perspective, in 2023 there was under $8 billion. This here is the print on demand Google trend for about the last 10 years or so, and you can see that we are basically going up and up and up each year. We are in a situation where more people than ever are becoming interested in print on demand, and I would say the vast majority are now selling on Etsy. And many people are not getting the results there that they want. Here are some more stats about social media selling in the same time period. You can see right here that by the year 2030, we are going to see a 31% annual compound growth rate in social media commerce, essentially saying that a lot of people are going to be buying print-on-demand products on social media. If we continue to scroll, we can see here that over half of online adults make online purchases on a weekly basis. You can also see on here it says that 81% of consumers say that social media compels them to make spontaneous purchases multiple times per year. I'm showing you all of this because, again, in this video, I am trying to present to you an alternative to Etsy print on demand in the year 2025, and it has everything to do with building your own store and selling products on social media. If you are trying to get started with that, I do have a free course linked down in the description below. What I would suggest is watching this video here today and then going through that free course to build your store and get started with social media marketing. What we're going to do in this video today is go through 10 things that you need to do to start your print-on-demand store and start selling on social media. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do if you are planning to start your own store and then market it on social media is figure out exactly what it is you are trying to do. What I mean is you need to figure out what you want to sell and who you are going to sell it to. The what has to do with your products and the who has to do with your niche. I say all the time that every print-on-demand store should do something specific well. In some cases, that could be a specific niche, like this store here. This is a store called crankstyle.com. This is an example of what is called a niche-based store. The something specific that they do well is a niche. And then they have lots of different products and lots of different designs only for people that have an interest in mountain biking. They don't make any other designs for any other niches. This, like I said, is an example of a niche-based store. We also have some store options like this here. This is what's called a product focus store. The thing that they do specific well would be a product, and then they make designs for lots of different niches on that same product. You could technically do this with any print-on-demand product. What you would want to avoid, however, is doing a little bit of everything. This here is an example of a store that does not do anything specific well. They sell t-shirts, they sell mugs, they sell print-on-demand shorts and phone cases and jewelry and scarves and signs for the wall and a whole bunch of other things. This store is all over the place. When you are just starting print on demand, you want to figure out something specific that you can do well. Recently, I uploaded this video here where I detailed print on demand store concepts in depth. So if you're not quite sure what you want to do, I would check out that video. The next thing you're going to want to do is make your designs. Step 1 was to figure out what you're selling, which is your product, and then who you're selling to, which is your niche. Step 2 here is now to begin making your designs. A lot of times what people end up doing to get started with their own store is once they figure out what they want to do, they immediately jump in and start building a store. This is a mistake. If you don't have designs yet, you don't need to build a store. The reason is because if you don't have designs, no matter what you do on the store, you will never actually be able to open it. Obviously, making designs can be a big deal, and for some people, maybe it's going to take a lot of trial and error with different graphic design softwares. Ultimately, I'm not trying to do a design tutorial in this video. I am more so trying to outline the steps for you to follow. Just like with step 1, I have another video that I'm recommending you to watch. I would check out this here if you're looking for some tips on how to actually go about making your designs. And one of the biggest questions that I get from people is how many designs should I actually make? Now, I think long term that answer could be debated, but I would say at the beginning, less is definitely more. When you're launching your store, the last thing you want to do do is make 20 or 30 or even 40 designs. The reason is that's going to create a lot of work for you. It's going to take a lot of time for you to make that many designs. And if you are doing it quickly, you're likely not making great designs. What I try to do when I launch a store is just make a handful of designs so that way I can get open. If you made like 10 designs or something like that, you could easily move into the store building phase, which is the next phase. Building your store within Shopify is simply drag and drop. Obviously, you're going to need images for different sections like this. You're also going to need to likely change up the color scheme of the store. You'd probably also go through here and add different text in. You'd likely make a logo as well. You'd build a menu. You would do all of those things on your store with the 10 designs or so that you made. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I do have a free course kind of taking you behind the scenes on how to do some of this. There is a link down in the description. Now, the next thing you'll need is an actual domain name for your store. You do not want to use just the regular old Shopify URL. You want to have your own domain name that you are using to send people to your store. Now, obviously, in this day and age, there are lots of different domain extensions. In a lot of cases, the .com that you are looking for might actually be taken already. In that case, you could check out a .store domain name. These are becoming pretty much more popular than ever. A recent study that they list on here shows that stores with a .store domain got 87% more traffic and 2 times higher ranking on the Google search results. As I said, they are becoming very popular. People like Mr. Beast or Rihanna or Shakira or even United Arab Emirates Airlines are using a .store domain for their online store. I will put a link in the pinned comment of this video for you to get a great deal on a .store domain. The next thing you're going to need is a Facebook page for your store. Now, a Facebook page is not your personal profile. A Facebook page is, however, something that you do create from a personal profile, but it is something that represents the name of your store. This is not something where people who are viewing your Facebook page are ever going to be able to see your personal identity or anything like that. This here is just a Facebook page. You likely see these all the time as you're scrolling Facebook. This is what you need to actually promote your products. As we scroll through here, this store Crank Style, you can see that there are no personal details on here. You can see in their bio section, it says your one-stop shop for cycling gear. They have their website in here and they also have a contact email. If you scroll up to the top, again, you can see that this is just a Facebook page. This is not a personal profile or anything like that. You're also going to want to create yourself an Instagram profile for your store. Again, this here is Crank Style's page. You can see up in their bio, it says clothing brand. They also have their link and a little bit of text describing what it is that they do. Again, these are social media pages that are going to represent your business on social media. I would say at a minimum, these would be the 2 that you would want to create. A lot of times, depending on your niche, there could be opportunity for you to create an account on Pinterest, for example. Personally, I have not done a lot on Pinterest because I have found that the niches that I typically sell to are not people that are on Pinterest. Pinterest is a platform where the vast majority of their users, approximately 70 to 80%, are women over the age of 35. So if that is a demographic you are trying to target, then Pinterest could be a good option for you. I would say the same thing for TikTok. Personally, I have not done a whole lot when it comes to print on demand on TikTok, mainly because TikTok is very labor intensive. What I mean by that is when you're posting on Instagram, for example, it is pretty much just short videos or graphics like what you are seeing here. On TikTok, it is a much different platform. You are likely going to be showing your face. You're likely going to be talking about your store and your brand and your products and essentially trying to sell them yourself. And for most people, that is not an approach that they actually want to take, so they lean towards Facebook and Instagram only. Now, for our next step, we're talking about getting yourself out there with a content strategy on your social media pages. To introduce this, I want to play you a clip from an event I attended with Printify in New York City.
The idea is to create an account that people in your niche, police officers, will want to follow. Right? So if I'm a police officer, right, and John, you are a police officer, so what types of things would you maybe want to see in a TikTok or in an Instagram, for example? Maybe some humor, right? So memes, there's thousands of those out there. You could collect those, repost them, right? What I try to do is not wake up every day and figure out, what am I going to post today, right? Because if you do that, one of 2 things are going to happen. One, you're going to say, I'm too tired, I'm not going to post. The second is you're going to rush and you're going to just find something silly, something maybe not high value. You're going to throw it out there and you're not going to get the results that you want, right? So the idea is to batch your content. What I teach about is batching 30 days in advance, right? So putting together 30 days worth of content for yourself, memes to focus on humor, could be inspirational videos, like I said, that you're reposting.
Essentially, what I was talking about there is you purposefully creating a content strategy. You now, at this stage, have a print-on-demand store. You also have social media pages, and now it is time to get out there. And one of the first things that you need to do is get a content strategy together. You need to have a plan in place for what it is you're going to post. The idea is to get yourself a presence, to begin working on gaining followers, so that way long-term you can promote products to them. This is obviously not a long-term thing, and I would suggest starting this at the beginning, so that way over time you can continue to build. Now, the next thing is to actually get into launching ads on both Facebook and on Instagram. Now, before you get worried, yes, you can run ads with a low budget. Honestly, budget does not really affect whether or not you are going to make sales or not. Every single ad that I launch starts at $1 per day. Essentially, what you need to be doing is first identifying who it is you are going to be promoting the products to. What I mean by that is actually going into Facebook and building audiences, essentially selecting what are called interests to target. An interest is basically like a keyword. Depending on your niche, there might be lots of keywords or there might not be many at all, in which case you might end up using what is called an advantage audience, which is something that can work for some niches, and you basically let Facebook do the targeting for you. The second type of ad that you're going to need to start putting some time into is a retargeting ad. A retargeting ad is basically like if you were going on a website looking at a product. Let's say that you were on homedepot.com and you were looking at a brand new grill for summertime, and then you decided for whatever reason not to buy the grill, and then you went back on social media and you saw an ad for that grill. That is called a retargeting ad, and these should be set up and be put in place before you actually dive too much into marketing. That way you can begin bringing everybody back to your store if they happen to visit it and not buy. These are set up by creating what is called a custom audience inside of Facebook, and then creating an ad campaign where the audience is that custom audience that you built. Again, if some of this is new to you, I again would suggest checking out my free course down in the comments below. It is called POD for Dummies, and like I said, it will help you build your store and get started on social media. Now, another way that you can actually begin marketing products as well that does not have to do with you posting or spending money on a Facebook ad is using an influencer. This is a strategy that personally I've used to get new stores off the ground and make my first few $1,000s in sales in the first month. Influencer marketing is basically you partnering with a content creator inside of the niche you are selling to. So again, let's say that you are someone who is selling a mountain biking themed product like the store that we were just looking at. The idea would be for you to partner with a mountain biking type content creator. Maybe somebody on YouTube who makes mountain biking related videos, or someone on Instagram that posts a lot of mountain biking content. The idea would be to have them promote your stuff. If you want more insight on my influencer marketing strategy, definitely make sure to check out this video right here on my channel. And again, my hope with this video was not to provide an in-depth overview of every single part of the print-on-demand business. What I am trying to do with this video is have you sort of zoom out a little bit and see the order in which you should begin doing things. It all starts with figuring out what it is you want to sell and who you are selling it to. And then from there, it's about making your designs, not diving right into social media or even diving right into your store. As I said, you do not need to build a store until you actually have designs. Once you have designs, yes, you can dive into making your store and getting yourself a domain name, and then ultimately moving on and creating your social media profiles, and then getting a content strategy together, dabbling in ads and influencer marketing and whatever else it is that you want to do to try and sell your products. And obviously, like I said as well, you are going to be starting your store with about 10 designs. Once you get through everything that I've gone through in this video today, you can begin growing your product catalog. You can add new products and new designs and basically create whatever you want. The goal is to prioritize the launch of your store and only make a handful of designs at the beginning. That way you can get open as quick as possible. Personally, I have always done better when I am excited about the launch of my store and I'm able to sort of prioritize that and get to it as quick as possible, because part of of this is about motivation, and part of this is about having fun. And if you are making designs for months and months and months on end without actually launching, there is a chance that you could lose some of that motivation, and ultimately maybe you never open your store. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know if any of this was helpful, or if there's any specific point that I made in this video today that you want me to make a follow-up on and actually talk about in a little bit more depth. Best of luck with your store, and I will see you in the next video.